Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Anna and I'm a little bit spooky. And today we are testing out Vieve makeup. This is Genevieve's brand. I am so excited about this brand and this launch. I think everything in her range has been so beautiful just to look at. I've been lusting over it. I ordered the Essential Eyeshadow Palette, a lipstick, and a lip liner back right after they launched, and it took about 2 months to get here, but that's okay because we are in a pandemic and we've also had the blizzard, snowstorm, whatever, frozen hurricane from hell here in Louisiana and across the country, so that also delayed shipping a little bit. Anyway, we've got a nice range of products to test out today. I'm super excited. I wish I had gotten a highlighter and the blushes, but the blushes had launched after I ordered. Anyways, if you want to hear my thoughts on the Vieve Essential Palette and the Modern Lip Definer and Modern Matte Lipstick, just go ahead and keep on watching. Spoiler alert, this is a look we create today. And we deep dive into this palette, give it a good little review and test. So if that interests you, just go ahead and keep on watching. But before you do, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below. Let me know some more looks you would like to see. Essential palette, because I'm really excited about it. I love it so much, and I will definitely be creating more looks with it. I, in fact, haven't really put it down since I got it. I've been using it. So yeah, let's go ahead and just get into that video. Okay, so the much awaited for makeup for me in my little world was my Vieve order. I was so excited, and it took 2 months to get here, but it's finally here. This is Vieve makeup by Genevieve, who is probably my favorite YouTuber ever at this point. I just adore her, and I was very excited about her makeup line. So yeah, this is her Essential Palette. I got this. I ordered a lipstick, one of the lipsticks. These are the Modern Matte lipsticks, and I ordered a lip liner, the Modern Lip Definer as well. We will get to those in a moment. But first, I want to start off talking about the eyeshadow palette, which is the Essential Palette. And yeah, it is all the colors that I want in an eyeshadow palette, essentially. But first, I want to say that the shipping took 2 months, which I'm not going to hold that against the brand. I ordered directly from the Vieve site, by the way, because I know with COVID and then the winter storm, things were real sketch getting packages, but my package was quite beat up and the ends were both open on it. I thought everything in it was going to be completely destroyed. Luckily, the palette and the lipsticks were all intact. Everything was brand new. Nothing had been touched or messed with. But looking at the outer box, I was real concerned. But anyways, here is the palette. It comes in a sleeve like this, and you just slide her right on out. And the palette is so beautiful. I've already gotten it dirty because I've been playing with it already. But yeah, it's just gorgeous palette. It is so much bigger than I thought it would be. It is the size of my head. I thought it was gonna be like kind of half the size. So I'm very pleased with the size of the palette. It is huge. It is like a faux leather looking kind of pattern here. And you have the little gold Vieve in the corner. It had a little protector on it. It was very nice. And one of my shades is a little loose, so I can't pick the palette up and really show you because this Chow shade will fall out. So I'm going to kind of put my finger on and hold it. But I will have pictures, of course, and swatches on the screen of everything. But yeah, these pans are freaking huge. The shades are absolutely gorgeous. They're those perfect neutrals. They're unique neutrals. You have some really beautiful yellow undertone shades in here, some warm browns. You have a cool tone kind of stone brown, which I really like, called Lava Rock. You have a nice base shade with So Shy, nice, you know, matte brow bone highlight type of shade. You've got 3 shimmery shades. You have like a really deep antique gold, a more traditional gold, and then you have a lighter kind of inner corner highlight shade and a matte black. And yeah, it's kind of everything that I could possibly want in a neutral just go-to palette, so I'm very happy with that. The mirror inside is absolutely gorgeous. It's big. You can do your whole face in it. It has a little V in the corner. It is very nice. Very luxurious feeling. I'm so tickled with this palette. The couple of times I've played with it so far, I've been so impressed with the pigmentation, the butteriness. This feels like a Natasha Denona quality good palette. This is fantastic. I'm so impressed. Like it, I mean, it's up there with like Pat McGrath and Natasha Denona as far as quality goes. It is so good. Let me read to you a little bit on the website real quick before we jump in. The description of the Essential Eyeshadow Palette. It retails for £43. The reason I didn't get the highlight off the bat was because I thought it was going to be too deep for me. But then I saw somebody with a skin tone like mine using it, and I was like, oh, well, shit, I should have got it because it looked gorgeous. The description on the website reads, a collection of 7 matte shadows and 3 multi-dimensional shimmers. They are quite multi-dimensional. They have like kind of like glitter in them. They're gorgeous. They remind me a bit of a Pat McGrath type of shimmer, like her special shades a little bit with the glittery kind of chunkiness tone. So you have a collection of 7 mattes and 3 multi-dimensional shimmers. The Essential Eyeshadow Palette showcases a modern take on neutrals. From minimalist to maximalist, these highly pigmented yet buildable formulas make it easy to create the look you want. From effortless to experimental, mix and match, and wear it your way. And I think that is a perfect description of this palette. These are a very kind of updated take on your traditional neutrals because you have that beautiful kind of a peachy warm tone. You've got a honey mustard type of shade. You've got more yellow-based brown, which I absolutely love. One that's kind of like honey looking. Very kind of naked honey-ish. You know I love those kind of colors. I think they're so flattering unexpectedly. And the shade Lava Rock is actually really an interesting tone. It is the more cool tone shade in the palette, but it still has a little bit of warmth in it. And is very, very wearable and could work on a multitude of undertones. This palette is just so lovely. I cannot wait to see what else she puts out. I'm just incredibly impressed. I wasn't expecting to love this as much as I did. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and just jump in and create a look here. And we're gonna go grungy glam. We're gonna do this Jamie Genevieve style, which is of course my favorite type of style makeup anyway, is grungy glam, full blown out smoky eye. That's what we were doing today. So I'm gonna go ahead and just start with the brow bone. I have primed my eyes with my Sigma eyeshadow base and set it down with a little bit of translucent powder just because I find that helps me out a little bit. The shade So Shy. And we're gonna run that just below the brow bone. Are my brows like crazy angry brows today? Yeah, they are. And I'm going to use this to highlight my brow bone first. I always kind of like to start with a lighter shade, kind of an off-white bone shade, cream shade, you know, something a little bit lighter my skin tone on the brow bone. I just think it helps with blending. It just makes things look really seamless. Run that right here underneath the brow arch and a little bit on the bone here. But that is such a nice little shade. It's just perfect. I think that is kind of an essential shade in most palettes. For my preferences is to have a shade like this and a matte black. I can have those in every palette and be happy just because I like a good one and done palette. I don't like to bounce between palettes when I'm doing a look. I'm going to take a big blending brush here. This is a rounded crease from Sonia Kashuk. And we're going to go into the shade Chow. I want to go in with that mustard yellow shade first. And we're going to take this kind of in the upper transition portion. Look how much comes up on the brush, and there's not a ton of kick up in the pan, but there is a little bit. So I'm just going to tap that off a little bit, and we're going to start the shade right about here, and I'm using a very light hand. I find the pigmentation on these to be just right. Like they're pigmented, but they're not just insane, and they blend so beautifully. Look at that. Look at that effortless blend. And I'm going to blow this shade out quite a bit, almost to the brow, and to the brow in the inner corner. I'm going to leave this a little bit of space blank right there. And kind of build it up just a touch. These are super buildable, and I feel like I get a good variety of looks from this palette as well. So I'm just pulling it up and out as I like to do, and kind of work with my bone structure of my eye and disregard the actual skin in my, like the skin of my eye, and just focus on like the actual bone of where like my orbital bone is and stuff, rather than where my actual crease is. I just pretend my crease doesn't exist. Maybe we're just gonna blend that up and out, and I am doing this before I do my makeup, my face makeup, so I'm not worried about getting a little messy. I haven't noticed a ton of fallout with this palette, but there is a little bit, as typical with most palettes. And I'm a messy person. I tend to get a lot of fallout no matter what I do. It's just the way I am, apparently. But this shade is so pretty. Look at this. This is like perfect like honey color. This is just, there's something very elegant about this palette and very high-end feeling. Very classy, yet fun. And I feel like you can get that, just that soft, grungy glam type of vibe with it, which is my favorite style. We know this. My soft gothic glam, as I call it. I'm bringing this shade Chow all the way into this inner part, just really going in with it. I've just really found this palette to be so easy to work with, yet create such impactful looks. The 2 days that I've done looks with it, I've gotten so many compliments out in public about my looks, and I feel like that's the ultimate test. You know you did something good, or your eyeshadow looks good is when people in public, like in Walmart or Target or somewhere or a doctor's office, compliment your makeup. Just full strangers come up to you. Especially when it's teenagers. That's the best, when you get a teenager to come compliment you. I love that. But yeah, I love that. That's so perfect. Okay, now I think I'm going to take Buff now on a more pointed crease brush. This is also from Sonia Kashuk. And we're going to bring that a little bit lower. Buff is a little bit deeper, a little bit more of a caramelly, kind of camel with a yellow base. And it just works perfectly with the Chow shade. It's just kind of bringing it a step deeper, a little more muted. I'm going to bring that just a little lower right into that socket area and start to build that depth up. Huh? Yes. Yes, yes, yes. This is my kind of neutral palette because I love neutrals, but I like really weird outside the box neutral shades. I don't like just a typical warm brown. I want them to have a weird undertone to them. And this palette has those interesting undertones. It's very unique, and I'm happy to see more of that on the market these days. With like Naked Honey and the Urban Decay Wild West palette has these types of tones in it. They make me so happy. Beautiful honey tones going on. And I'm just building that up into that socket. It's how effortless this has been, just to build these shades and blend them. Like, it's so easy. I do believe Cult Beauty also carries Vieve products, so I don't know if their shipping might be a little quicker. I'm pretty sure my shipping just was taking a good bit because a lot of the lockdowns had just gone into effect in Europe, like really strict lockdowns. So I'm pretty sure that impacted it a good bit. And just, anything international takes a little while. I'm taking Chow just one more time, just kind of coming around that edge, just really softening that out, blending it out, getting that impact. And now back to that pointed crease. I'm going to go into Delicious. Delicious is a darker, warm, kind of a classic warm brown tone. And it is delicious. It's a very like chocolatey shade. And I'm going to bring that just a little bit tighter into that socket. These shades do layer really well, and they all just complement and work together so effortlessly, whichever shade combination you go with. Building up our depth now, getting that big blown out eye look where it just kind of makes your eyes look a little bit bigger than they are. Something I struggle with because I got little shrimp eyes. And just building that up and blending it out, letting it flow into those other shades. Very nice. The texture of these mattes is just so beautifully buttery and soft, but they're firmly pressed enough that they don't go everywhere. They're just lovely. The formula that she went with is so good. I think Jamie did an amazing job, her and her team. And also, I just love the whole aesthetic of the brand. I think it is really, really pretty. It is very her, too. Like, you can see her throughout the brand. Her creative vision. I'm excited to see her new house. All right. Make sure that it's visible with my eyes are open. I'll go back to my original blending brush here and just work that around those edges just to double check, make sure everything is blended. Even though it looks blended, always go back and give a little blend. It can't hurt. Right now I'm going to take a Sigma Precision Firm blender. I'm going to take some of the shade Midnight, which is the matte black. This is kind of a soft matte black. There's a softness to it. It's not super just pitch black. It's a very easy to work with type of black. And I'm going to start to build that right here on this outer corner, just to get some depth in there. This is one that you can really shear and use to truly just deepen up. That's something I quite like about it. And Lava Rock actually, as a cool tone, surprisingly it works really well to deepen up a shade. I'm just going to focus it right out here on this outer V, and a little bit into the crease, just letting that, and I add some depth right out there. We're going to do kind of a smoky wing type of shape, cat eye shape. Just my favorite like eyeshadow shape on myself. It makes my eyes look much bigger than they are. But look how easily that black blend, Jesus Christ. The black builds up so well, and I like how versatile it is that you can get such a sheer amount of it just to deepen up, and then you can just kind of keep building and get it to that purely pitch black look, but it is a softer black at the same time. So it's not so overwhelming. I find it to be a very graceful black eyeshadow, which is something really nice because black eyeshadow can be a little bit troublesome. Now I take my pointed crease again with nothing on it and just soften those edges. And I'm going to take a little bit more Delicious. I'm going to come right around that edge, black, and pull it up and out, kind of winging it Every time I see anything called delicious, I think dead but delicious. You see how blendable that black is? That's so lovely. I like to go back and forth and build shades. All right, now we are looking super smoky. I'm gonna take my big fluffy brush again, take a little more chow, and just come back around just to make sure that shade is super visible and is in there. I want that vibrant yellowness coming through, warm yellow. Okay, I know we're looking a little messy. Don't worry, we will clean it up. That's why we were doing our eyes first, because we were just going big and blown out and smoky. I take a little bit more delicious just because I want to. Come right out here. Like, I just have so much fun with this palette, almost like shading you would with a drawing. Like, that's what I feel like I do with eyeshadow. It's like I'm valuing it and doing all that. That was always my favorite part of drawing, was adding the shade and light. That was something I was always pretty skilled at. It was just something I truly enjoyed doing, especially with portraits. That's what I used to do, was portraits. they were the best portraits, but they were portraits, and I loved doing it. I kind of miss drawing and sitting down to do that because it's so meditative, but I kind of do it with makeup now, and I just really don't have time to do all the things I want to do. Like, I was just telling my brother yesterday, I was like, I don't have time to listen to all the music I want to listen to, because I want to listen to YouTube videos also and do all these other things, but I want to sit down and listen to albums, because I recently discovered post-black metal bands and I really want to sit down and listen to them and focus on them. I come across a French one called Alce, and I'm just kind of fascinated and I want to deep dive into their music. Now let's move on to the shimmers. I know Jamie said that these shimmers will perform best on a damp brush or with a finger because they are that kind of formula. They're very much like, they remind me of the Pat McGrath shimmers that are a little bit chunky, bitty, because they got like the glitters in them, but they're so pretty. And I want to use all three of them. Would that be excessive? Can we do it? We're gonna do it. We're gonna take Thea first, and I'm gonna dampen my brush with a little bit of setting spray and pick up a little bit of Thea with the damp brush. I have done these with a dry brush as well. They're a little bit more sheer and a little toned down. They're kind of nice for like daytime, I guess, if you want just a softer wash of shimmer. They're great for that, but if you want to really like amp it up, the damp brush is the way to go, or a fingertip. But it is quite an impactful formula. So I'm taking Thea, which is the darkest kind of browny antique gold, and I'm going to start it right here, fading into the black with a little bit of a patting motion on the mobile lid. That's more of like a, what do you call that, bronze shade. Yeah, that's the word. I think that's very pretty. There's almost like an oliveness to the shade, or a khaki undertone, which is just so very pretty, especially when the light hits it and those shimmers pop. Yeah, there's like a little bit of a green in that shade, and I love that, because you know how I feel about olive. Do you know how I feel about olive? I love olive. So I'm going to dampen the brush one more time, and we're going to take Carrot, which is the more classic gold. This isn't a super yellow gold. It is a warm, just pretty gold. It doesn't have that yellow undertone to it. It has more of the warm golden champagne vibe. We're going to take that just more on this inner part of the lid and let that flow into Thea. I really like Thea all over the lid for like a super smoky dark look. We're going to add a little light onto the lid with this gold. See, they just flow together so well and just has that nice dimension to it. I think her color choices for this were just genius. Seriously can't wait to see what she's going to do next, because I think she did such a good job color-wise. It's like she created the makeup that she wants, you know? And I like that. I like when, that's so pretty. Especially just like doing a wash of this gold over one of the matte shades can look so nice. Just letting that kind of flow up and just get real kind of blown out grungy, not real perfected, for some grungy glam. Okay, and now I'm going to take the shade Glimmer, which is the lightest shimmer in the palette. This one's more of a smooth, glowy, metallic shade rather than the more chunky shades that the other ones are. This one's just a pure, smooth type of formula, and very pigmented and bright. I love how bright that color is. And it's just the perfect inner corner shade, brow bone highlight shade. I would use it as a face highlight, but it is a little deep. I tried, and it casts a little bit of a shadow, which I was afraid would happen if I bought that lightest highlighter from her, because it looks quite similar to this shade. But there's a very peachy, beautiful blush from her that I want. Most of the fallout that I tend to get is the black shade, and a few glitters from the metallics. Okay. This is like my classic glam kind of look right here. golds and warm tones and a black eyeshadow in the outer corner. My vibe. This is classic me with this look. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a little bit, I'm going to clean my little brush off and take just a touch of glimmer right here, just under the brow, very lightly. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and clean up my fallout. The little bit that I have, not too bad. I'm going to tidy that up, do my face makeup, and pop on some liner, lashes, and we'll be back for the lower lash line and to talk about these lip products. I'll see you guys in just a moment. Brows, did the face, all of that, and put on some lashes. So let's move on to this lower lash line real quick, and then we will finish this all up. I'm trying to decide what brush I want to use. I'm just going to grab this little short shader here. This is a Sonia Kashuk. And I'm going to go straight into Delicious. And I'm just going to run this right here along the lower lash line. I think my lashes are Pompadour from Kiss. I'm just going to build that up along this lower part, let it flow into the upper lashes. And now I'm going to take a little mini diffuse crease, detail diffuse crease. I'm going to take a little bit of buff on the tip of that, knock it off, and I'm going to run it just below, right there, and blend that out a little bit. Yeah, I like to get a little smoky under there, but I don't want it to be, I think I'm not going to use any black on the lower lash line. I'm just going to use these shadows. I think that's all I'm going to do on the lower lash line. I like that. Like, it's just kind of like that. Sometimes you don't need to go ham. I'm going to take my little flat brush here, take a little bit more glimmer, and just reinforce that inner corner. Let's do a little bit of mascara along that lower lash line. I got my hands on the Sky High Lash Sensational from Maybelline. Bitch, the hype is real. That, it is that good. There's a reason it's like sold out everywhere. It's pretty damn amazing. Like Lash Princess good. And I really didn't expect to like it that much because I hate these little rubber brushes. But this one's so gentle. It doesn't like stab. It's not stabby at all. All right, and now it's time to move on to the lip products. I have the Modern Lip Definer in the shade Bark. I want all the lip liner shades because they look great, so I'm definitely going to be ordering some more of these. I really like the formula. It's a beautiful lip liner, and I don't think the price point's that bad, even, you know, with conversion rate or whatever. It's fair enough. It's about the same price as a MAC lip liner, but then you gotta factor in shipping, so I don't know. Let's go ahead and put on this lip liner. Bark is a warm caramelly brown, you know, my kind of favorite lip liner shade. This is very much similar to the Milani one that I love so much from the Sheep Lip Kit, so that makes me very happy. But these are a very nice formula. They're not quite, I wouldn't say they're like a MAC lip liner. They're a little bit more closer to the Charlotte Tilbury type of formula, but I really, really like it. It's very nice. I like the pencil itself is quite pretty. It's got the gold detail and the color on top. It's just a lovely, lovely lip liner all around, and it's definitely going to be a go-to for me because I do love this tone a lot. And it will arrive to you in a lovely little box like this, and it has a 24-month shelf life. Okay, now for the lipstick, which comes in a beautiful little box right here. I picked the lipstick up in the deepest shade, which is called Power Suit. Where did you go, lipstick? I just had you. So I have the shade Power Suit, which is the deepest shade in the range. The lipsticks run quite a bit lighter than lip liners. That's really Genevieve's kind of style with her lipstick. She does a deeper liner and the lighter lipstick, and I like that look. I'm not mad at it. It's very 90s goodness to me, and I'm here for it. So yeah, the lipstick component is absolutely gorgeous. It's plastic, but it looks incredibly high-end. It has this faux leather beveling type of vibe going on. It's got a beautiful V on top and the gold trim. This does not look like so expensive and like just something beautiful to be out on your vanity. And then the lipstick itself is gorgeously done. It is just pretty. It says Vieve across the lipstick itself right there, and I really like it. And it has a magnetic closure. I love that. But this is a very warm kind of orangey brownie shade. You'll see. It's a very easy to wear shade though, but it has a little bit of impact to it. I think it's a gorgeous color. It's the kind of like lipstick shade that I love right here. It's just a lovely warm brown. It looks good with all the eyeshadows in the palette, I've noticed. And it's neutral, but it's still warm and it's still a little bit of impact while still being pretty kind of muted and wearable. And that is just my kind of go-to like everyday type of lip color. It plays super well with the Bark lip liner, and yeah, I'm really happy with this formula. It feels so lightweight on the lips. It goes on so effortlessly. There's no tugginess, no dryness, but it's still matte, but so comfortable. So everything I would say on a whole with this brand has an incredibly high-end luxury feel to it, while still being somewhat affordable or a little less expensive price point that's about mid-range in the spectrum. It isn't like, you know, Pat McGrath prices. It's more akin to Urban Decay prices, around that price point. And I think that's absolutely great for the quality of the product. It is so lovely. It feels like you spent a lot more on it. And the packaging, everything, the components are all so beautiful. Jamie did an amazing job on this, and I'm just absolutely in love with all the products. So this is our look all complete, and I'm tickled. I want a blush. I want all the lip liners. I'm gonna have to get a highlighter now because I'm in love. Overall, I'll say, yeah, the shipping was a little extended. It was about 2-ish months to get my stuff, but that's okay because I understand what's going on. Otherwise, I'm really happy with the experience. It was a very easy process shopping on her website. Everything else was just pretty great. And again, the shadow palette is absolutely amazing. Amazing neutral, unique neutrals. Just very different. These aren't shades you see commonly on the market, and that's what I really love about it. And the pan size is massive. The palette is massive. You are definitely getting your money's worth, and I think this is just a gorgeous piece. They look beautiful on the vanity. Or they're products you want to photograph. You want to have them in the background in your pictures and stuff because they're just that gorgeous. They are like just Chanel, Tom Ford gorgeous. Oh, and they are also PETA approved, cruelty free, so that is another thing to point out. And yeah, that is all for today. Thank you for hanging out with me and seeing my thoughts on this little bit of Vieve products that I picked up. This is of course a part of my brands I want to try in 2021 series. More videos will be coming. I think we're gonna do Ritual de Fille next. I think. We'll see. Anyways, thanks for hanging out, and I will see you guys in the next one. Stay safe and stay spooky. Bye now.